Today, I'm going to show you how to protect your wealth and create a lasting legacy using a proven trust strategy that our tax clients have proved to save thousands. My name is Sanna Garrett-Smith, and thank you for allowing me to spend a few minutes with you to go over this information in reference to a trust and a will. I'm going to show you our 3-step trust system to simplify your estate planning with our easy-to-use platform. In just 3 steps, you can create a legally binding trust or will to protect your assets and ensure your family's future. Our strategic approach ensures your wishes are clearly defined, giving you peace of mind knowing your legacy is secure. Here's my legal disclaimer. This presentation is for informational purposes only and does not provide tax advice or create a client relationship with the Ultimate Trust Creator or BCT Income Tax Center. Your results is going to depend upon your ability to create estate planning documents correctly, and we recommend consulting a qualified trust attorney for personalized guidance. And watching this class or communicating with us does not establish a client relationship unless a formal agreement is signed. That is my disclaimer. That's my story I'm sticking to. Who is this for? The Ultimate Trust Creator is perfect for families and parents, ideal for those who want to ensure their assets like their homes, any type of asset that they have, cars, are smoothly transferred to their children or other beneficiaries. It's for people, who want to avoid probate and save time. It's for people who can do it themselves and not have to want to spend all that money for attorneys, and they want to reduce their costs. It's for first-time estate planners. It's for the people who are new to estate planning. You really need this so you can have it set up right from the beginning. People who are retired. It's for those who are finalizing their plans and aiming for a peace of mind and knowing that their loved ones will be well cared for. It's for homeowners and business owners. If you own a property or a business, this tool helps you protect your investments and plan for your future. People looking for affordability is what it is. An efficient, cost-effective solution for those seeking an alternative, not having to hire an attorney. They don't want to. Now, this is for people who it's not for. It's for people who don't have any ownership, and no property ownership, don't own anything. My parents didn't own anything. It's for those who don't have any bank accounts, for people with no retirement plans, no investments, no assets to pass on. So now we're going to talk a little bit about the power of concentration. So I want you to close Facebook, stop checking your email, and focus on them for the next hour. Please silence your cell phones, eliminate any distractions, and focus every ounce of your attention, because I'm giving you the secret to financial freedom right here, right now. Now, why am I giving this overview? I've seen firsthand the challenges families face when managing a loved one's estate without clear directives in place. When an estate enters probate, the court takes control, determining the legal errors, the distribution of assets, the processes that often comes with something that's very lengthy, costly, and stressful. A trust is the only tool that helps your family bypass the probate process.
What hit close to home for me was that there's only one life. There's one life to live. And if you want to be successful, you have to make the changes for yourself. No one is going to do it for you. I've spent the last several months making other things a priority and pretending that they were priorities and making excuses and procrastinating. But today I learned that now's the time to do it. It's time to step up. And with Sanna's help, I learned that there are tools out there. She's actually created the tool that will help me to build my business from the ground up. And not only will I be able to become financially free for myself and my family, but to also help others become financially free. And that in and of itself is rewarding.
And just for staying to the end of this webinar, I'm going to give you a free gift that's valued at over $10,000 if you stay to the end. Now, before we get too deep into this, estate planning can feel a little bit overwhelming at times. I'm telling you, I've been studying this for about 3 years, trying to go to this attorney, that attorney. It's just so much information. There's so many different types of trust you can get. But having a well-crafted estate plan is crucial for protecting your assets. Don't get too overwhelmed, because this information is going to be a lot of information to take in. Just bring it in and know that you just got to take one step at a time. So now here's my promise to you. The only way for you to really learn how to get a bulletproof asset protection framework is through BCT Income Tax Center. The only place to learn the secrets to reducing your tax liability is to go through the ultimate trust creator. Is that a bold promise? Absolutely, and I stand by. This system is so powerful, and I'm thrilled to share it with you. This system is designed for individuals like you who are ready to secure their financial future, the legacy, and put their family first. So I commit to sharing this information with you, and I'm going to be there every step of the way with you. Now we're going to talk about the elephant in the room. Because if you don't have a trust yet, don't worry about it. It's not your fault. If you were told by an attorney that you need to hire them to create your trust, that you couldn't do it on your own because it's too hard, it costs too much, their fees are astronomical because they want you to pay them. They want it to seem complicated when it's really not. Why? So that you can pay financial investors, advisors your money. They want you to go to an attorney. No, you can do this yourself and save you thousands of dollars. Is a will enough for your family? Even if you have a will stating that your house should go to your kids upon your death, they still need to navigate the probate courts to secure it. They got to go through it either way. A will is not going to save you. Because family crisis can happen unexpectedly, leaving loved ones vulnerable. To ensure your family is prepared, take proactive steps creating your trust, your estate plan now. Start early. Don't wait until it's too late to create your plan. Beginning the process early allows you to make informed decisions and gives you a peace of mind. Here's something else I want to discuss about communicating with your loved ones and your family members about what your intentions are. Because it's so important. I've noticed that so many families don't even discuss their estate planning intentions with their family members. So you want to do this so you want to ensure everyone is on the same page, or everybody's aligned with what's supposed to be going on. Because if not, guess what? Once probate court gets involved, your children will have to go through and obtain ownership of your home if you do not have a trust. You don't want to go to no probate and have to navigate the daunting struggle for families dealing with the loss of a loved one, and they're already depressed. Now you got to deal with the bureaucracy going to probate. You ever think about the famous people that passed away that didn't have their stuff in their estate? For example, Prince. Prince passed away in 2016. He did not have a will. He didn't have a trust. He had nothing, which led to a lengthy probate process to determine the distribution of his significant estate. He had over $300 million. Oh yeah, let's talk about Michael Jackson. He died in 2009. His estate, catalogs and stuff. And so he had a big legal battles going on with all his stuff because it was really complex because he had so much debt. He had some royalties. He had the distribution of his assets, including his catalog, like I said, Neverland Ranch. These cases that I'm talking about, this is real life stuff. What makes BCT Income Tax Center so different? What is our pod, our point of distinction? Because we're just not a regular income tax center. We're open year-round. We're cloud-based, which means we're available to you whenever. You can access in your portal. You'll have your own secure portal. And we created the Ultimate Trust Created because we wanted to be able to add another layer of protection for our clients to be of more value. So I flew out to learn all this stuff so I can be able to help our clients set up their own trust without having to pay these extremely high fees that attorneys are charging. Before we go any further, I want to tell you a little bit about myself and just so you can know who I am.
What's up, everybody? I'm Sanna Garrett-Smith, aka the Financial Drill Sergeant.
Now, why do they call me that? Because I love to drill financial literacy into people. I love helping people, showing them how to, there are other options that are available in life. I enjoy helping people do mortgages. I love helping people doing so many things to be able to literally change their life. All my life that I love helping people and giving back. 40 years, I've dedicated my life to one mission, transforming financial futures. My journey isn't about numbers. It's about people. And as a 7-figure tax trust advisor, I've invested over $500,000 in my personal self-development. But my real investment has always been in helping others secure their financial legacy. I have spoken on countless media platforms. I had the luxury of meeting the great Les Brown. I have had the honor of speaking across the world to different soldiers and that's why we're cloud-based, because our clients are all over the world. We started that way and got into this industry by helping soldiers. So being able to sit on all these other platforms gives me the opportunity to meet and connect with other people. My journey started in the Army, where I spent over 20 years working in the HR department. And I also, served in the 82nd Airborne Division as a paratrooper. I was earned the air assault badge. So I got out of the Army and became a mortgage broker. In fact, that's where I met my wonderful husband, Bill, on post at Fort Jackson back in 2007. I was teaching a financial literacy course and ran into him, and he was not happy being there. He said he had stuff to do, and he was sitting in the back paying almost $800 a month in federal taxes. I looked at his pay stub and said, you might want to stay in this class. Bill retired from the military with 30 years as a command sergeant major, and I spent a little over 20 years in the Army. And as a first sergeant, along with our daughter, who did a little bit over 8 years and got out as a captain. So now went from serving our country to serving our community, and we're happy to be part of it and exposing this information to as many people as we can. 3 years ago, everything changed for me when I decided to want to learn more about trust. I flew all the way out to California. And my friend it was a big conference. I wanted to learn more about how to set up my own trust first. First, I wanted to get my life in order when we moved down here and moved to this part of Florida. And I decided I got to learn more about this. And I just happened to have a friend who sold trusts, and he wanted me to sell them with them. So I went out to California, went to their conference, and only to find out at the end of the conference that not only did I need one trust, I required 3, and we'll talk about it later, those 3 or 4 different types. But the only advice they can give me was you need to refinance your house to get the money. If you can't come up with, that's how you'll get your clients to come up with the money, is refinance their house. I'm thinking, wow, $20,000 refinance, it's gotta be a better way. And when I returned home, I took some classes. I started doing research on the internet, learning the ins and outs, the nuances, the terminology. I didn't understand it because I wanted to get our Airbnb set up, and when we own the Airbnb, and we was like, we got to do this. You know, having that information, once they drip it on you, it's hard to erase it. I started teaching financial literacy, and every time I looked at their pay stub, I would notice my soldiers would be paying $500, or in some cases, between state and federal, $1,000 a month in federal taxes. So I started teaching the W-4 form on the term called income shifting, with taking the money that you're paying your job in federal taxes by owning a business, explaining and letting them see that the losses from your business will filter through to your form W-4 from your job, which will allow you to pay less taxes at your job. You've seen all the good stuff about me, and that's great to tell you the good stuff. A lot of people don't realize what it took to get to where we're at. I grew up in a very large, economically challenged family. There were 11 of us, 7 boys, 4 girls. My parents split up when I was only 10 years old. She moved from Cleveland to Detroit, and my father went to Chicago. So I grew up in the North. This is a street that I grew up on. Unfortunately, before we moved to Detroit, I had failed the first grade, and we didn't know that until they went to enroll us in school at my grandmother's house. And because no one took us to school because my mother was too inebriated and too high. So when we moved in this house where you see where I grew up at, Alma, I was going into the 4th grade. And so I didn't understand why me and my sister, who was younger than me, was in the same grade. And that was because I couldn't read. And I didn't want that to happen when we moved to Detroit. And so what I did was I had to go and register my siblings for school, 4 siblings, and walk them up the street, got them dressed, because I knew my mother was not going to get up to do it, and I didn't want them to fail. No one told me to do that. I knew within all the fiber within me that somebody had to take charge and help these other people. And so I knew that I always liked helping people as a child, and that drove me make sure all my siblings even got through school, even when I joined the Army and had to leave. So it's been some tough times. It was days we didn't have food. I knew at 5 I was going to get out of that kind of toxic environment. I just need to connect myself with the right people, and I had vision, and I did just that. Okay, so enough about me. I want to be able to talk you through how to actually set up a trust and what the process involves and what you can expect. So now let's get into the different parties that are involved in creating a trust. There are 3 key roles in a trust. You got the grantor, who's also known as a seller or the trustor. This is a person who creates the trust to benefit another individual, the beneficiary. Okay, we'll get to that in a second. Then you have the trustee, person who manages and controls the assets of the trust, the day-to-day operations. If you choose a role for yourself, being a trustee is often the best option. How about that? The grantor cannot be the trustee, though. There's one caveat to that. The grantor cannot be the trustee. And then the third one is beneficiary. This is a person who will receive the assets when the trust ends. Bottom line is the grantor creates the trust, the trustees manage it, and the beneficiary benefits from it, because that's how it's broken down. In a revocable trust, the grantor can change or revoke the trust remove beneficiaries, or take back assets. But because of this flexibility, creditors can access the trust and it could become part of a public record in a lawsuit. On the other hand, an irrevocable trust, the grantor cannot change the trust, remove assets, or alter beneficiaries. This type of trust offers more protection from creditors and less likely to be affected by lawsuits, keeping the assets private. You see, that's the reason y'all want to break down. You're learning these different types. There are hundreds of different trusts. A trust is a legal arrangement created through a contract that works like a person, but it's established on paper. This contract has two key components. The declaration, the declaration section is the section that defines the trust. It explains what it is and what it is not, such as confirming it's a trust is not a business or a nonprofit. That's what it's for, is to determine what it is. And then you have the other part of it, the indenture. This outlines the rules and guidelines for how the trust will operate. So long as you know these parts, and these are all templates that you'll have access to, you don't have to remember all these. I'm just going over, giving you an overview of this stuff. Now, when you get into the ins and outs of trust, there are different types of trust. And a trust can last for a period of up to from 1 to 100 years. To build generational wealth, it's ideal to extend it as long as possible. When the term ends, the assets transfer to the beneficiaries. Let's talk about the different types of trust: an express versus an implied trust. An express trust is a written trust defined by a contract with specific terms, while an implied trust is an oral trust that may not be enforced in court. You don't want them. And a simple trust versus a complex trust is a simple trust has fewer rules and regulations and requires trustees distribute assets to the beneficiary, whereas a complex trust contains more provisions and does not require such distributions. And they're going down to the discretionary versus non-discretionary type of trust. Is a non-discretionary trust gives the trustee the power to manage assets and make decisions from the trust benefits, while non-discretionary trust requires the trustee to strictly follow instructions without flexibility for decision making. And then the non-statutory trust is governed by common law, not state statutes, allowing it to be set up in one state and used in another. This means you can set up the trust in one state, such as Florida, and use it in another state in New York. The state has no jurisdiction, ensuring the trust remains private and unregistered. Get that? Private and unregistered. And so next, let's discuss the revocable versus an irrevocable trust. An irrevocable trust protects assets from the creditors and reduces estate taxes. But once it's set up, it cannot be changed or revoked, and you lose control over the assets. A revocable trust is a trust that allows you to modify or cancel it at any time, and it avoids probate but doesn't protect the assets from the creditors and offers fewer benefits. So I just want to make sure we got terminologies right. Now, next thing I want to discuss is how to properly structure your trust. You want to have these structured properly, and this is how I recommend you do it because when you establish the right structure, it's crucial for protecting your assets. This is going to involve creating multiple trusts, helping you spread your assets, allowing you to use different types of trust for specific purposes. And having a pre-packaged trust system is a secure and convenient solution delivered through a cloud-based platform. And this system is going to simplify that you being able to upload your documents and having it managed in a central location, and that is safe. It's going to safeguard your finances and create a structure that stands the test of time. Because the first trust we're going to discuss is a business trust. This is highly recommended and it's highly beneficial for entrepreneurs, particularly for asset protection and tax optimization. Once you act as a holding company, it can own shares in LLCs or corporations, providing the first layer of protection if someone sues the business, if you have an LLC. By listing the trust rather than you on it as the owner, it safeguards your personal assets, because a business trust can also operate directly as a business entity, allowing you to bypass the LLC registration at the state, getting rid of all them state fees that you have to renew every year and annual fees for renewals. A business trust, you bypass all that. You don't get to do that with an LLC. Let me give you an example how powerful this is. If your LLC earned $100,000, by appointing the business trust as the authorized member, transfers the liability to the trust and lets you deduct the business expenses. How cool is that? Because once you get a business trust, you get to fill out what we call a 1041, not a 1040. You don't do a 1040 if you own a trust, okay? So if it take $30,000 to run your business made $100,000, that's $70,000, that difference, that can be transferred over to your nonprofit organization and reported on your 1041, okay? So the next one I want to talk about is the tax-exempt trust, also known as a 508c1a, which qualifies as a tax-exempt entity. I'm going to say this real slow. Just to be clear, I'm not talking about a 501c, a nonprofit organization, which is like a church. I'm talking about a 508c1a. It's often structured for like ministries, nonprofits. The main thing it's structured for is faith-based organizations. You can have your own self-development organization that you're teaching leadership on, and that makes it a nonprofit. That's why you're able to set that up inside of here. It's better to set it up in here versus the 501c, because these entities are automatically exempt at the federal level, bypassing the need for a 501c3 status due to the separation of church and state. So when you get a 508c1a trust, it does not require tax filing unless you get money or funds over $5,000, and that's okay. We're going to fill out the 1041, and that difference in that tax money be passed out over from your business trust to your 508c1a. Because with a 508c1a trust, you can donate up to 60% of your gross income. Most people didn't know that. So if you're a W-2 employee, you can deduct up to 60% of your W-2 employee income, or up to 25% of your own business income. And these donations are fully tax deductible. And setting it up this way is going to allow entrepreneurs to protect assets, reduce tax obligations, and streamline operations, while tax-exempt trusts offer enhanced opportunities for charitable giving and tax savings. So that is very important to get, because the faith-based organization will be the owner of the business trust, the beneficiary of the business trust. So the next trust I want to talk about and recommend is your family trust. And why is it important to have a family trust? Because using a family trust as a beneficiary of your business trust offers key financial and tax advantages strategies, especially for entrepreneurs. So we talked about the example of if $70,000 flow through your business trust, the family trust, it benefits because it reduces your tax liability through your family trust. Like I said, you have to file a 1041 for the faith-based organization also. So this is important to have a family trust. That way you can put all your other things in there that's separate from your business and your faith-based. That's why you need to have that. Okay, so you ever heard that saying that own nothing but control everything? This is that structure that we're talking about. Because you got expenses for the family trust that might include costs associated with like maintaining assets like a primary residence, utilities, taxes, maintenance, and other expenses. This is for the family trust. You would put all this stuff in. For example, going back to the $60,000 of the $70,000 of income that goes towards the expenses, only $10,000 of it will remain for taxation. So to reduce the taxes even further, you can donate the remaining $10,000 to a tax-exempt trust, minimizing the family tax liability and efficiently managing income to support the family needs and reduce your tax. That's crazy. And that's being able to do that is phenomenal. This is just incredible information. And the last trust we want to talk about is the irrevocable trust, often referred to as a bulletproof trust. This structure is designed to protect assets and hold up in court. Creditors can't come after your assets with this one. That's the bottom line. Let's discuss why it's important to choose a business trust over an LLC. Now, if you already got an LLC, I'm not saying I want you to change that, because you can put that LLC inside of the trust and make the trust the owner of the LLC. So I'm not trying to get you to change anything. I'm just explaining you the difference between the two entities. A business trust offers benefits for entrepreneurs by acting as a holding company that owns shares in LLCs or corporations, providing added protection. It operates as a business entity without needing a state registration, saving on fees, or ongoing regulations. Okay? If you have an LLC, you still can claim tax deductions like a car, travel, wages, by structuring it as a business. Because it is a business, you can appoint the trust as the authorized member, transferring liability and protecting yourself personally. You got the same write-offs, but the liability is different in what you're being protected with. So say, for example, if your LLC earns $1,000 and you can use a K-1 distribution to transfer all the income to the business trust. A business trust lets you deduct operating expenses just like the LLC, but before taxes, reducing tax income. I'm going to say this again. A business trust lets you deduct operating expenses before taxes, reducing taxable income. So back to that $70,000, for example, deducting the $30,000 that it took to run your business. You had $100,000, which leaves $70,000 taxable, and this money can be distributed to the beneficiary, potentially resulting in a 0% tax liability. All trusts are filed on a 1041. This is separate from a 1040, okay? So that with strategic distribution, trust tax liability is between 10 and 39%. That can be reduced because a business trust can be designated as a 508c1a entity, granting automatic tax exempt status without the 501c3 process. Okay? Don't believe nothing that I say. Do your own homework. And that way you can know for yourself, and therefore you get your own understanding. This provides tax exemption on federal, state, and local taxes. Donations to the trust are not taxable, and a trust don't need to be filed on the 1041 unless the funds exceed $5,000 and are not donations, if you will. Okay? A business trust is versatile. It's not limited to religious purposes and can be educational. So if you are a leader and you teach self-development courses and stuff like that, that's what we're talking about, sheltering and putting that under. You can donate up to 60% of your W-2 income as a W-2 employee of your income, or 25% of your business owner income with full tax deductibility. That's incredible, folks. This is important. People think I'm set up my LLC. You're still not covered, because if somebody wants to sue you, half of that LLC is limited. So that other money, they can come after your personal assets. You're not protected. The next trust building formula I want to talk about is trust investments. Why is trust investments so important? When it comes to investments, two key assets to focus on is, like I said earlier, is index universal life insurance and real estate. These two offer a combination of liquid and tangible assets, providing you with a well-rounded investment strategy. Because the IUL is a powerful investment that can provide both living benefits and death benefits. You can enjoy it while you're alive. You don't have to die to get access to your money. It helps you build tax-free cash value over time, which grows with compound interest. And a portion of each premium payment is directed into a cash value account. This is cash value can increase based upon the performance of the stock market. So for example, if you put 8% in your cash value and it grows by 8%, offering you 8% tax-free money. Okay, an important strategy to consider with an IUL. Imagine this: a child born today with a life insurance policy on their name. By the time they turn 18, they have the funds available for college or even their first car without any financial strain on your family. How cool is that? Because here's how it works. The funds originate from what we call a universal life insurance policy. It's a company, IUL. The policy holder can access money through loans against the policy's cash value. And then these loans don't need to be repaid. Instead, the loan amount is deducted from the death benefit. Okay, so for example, if the death benefit was $5 million on somebody else, and after deducting the loans, it goes directly to a trust. The system creates a risk-free way to transfer wealth while protecting this for future generations. Setting up trust fund babies, it's not about privilege, it's about creating a strategy to ensure your children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren thrive financially. And you get to control that now. Just imagine that $5,000, let's say a person got $5,000 a month, and they was able to put that into what we call the universal life insurance policy, also known as an IUL. With an IUL, you can shift this payment and paying yourself instead of immediately covering all your bills and paying the $5,000 going straight to bills. It can go straight to your IUL. So let's say approximately $4,800 going to a cash value account that grows over time through compounding, potentially yielding about an 8 to 10% rate of return. So here's what an IUL does for you. An IUL offers some key benefits to be able to access the cash value without interrupting its growth. You can also borrow against your policy. Say the $4,600 out of the $4,800 covers the bills while the cash value continues to grow and to compound. And the best part is the loan does not need to be repaid in your lifetime. It simply is deducted from the death benefit. This way, you effectively use your $5,000 twice, once to pay bills and once to grow wealth. And by prioritizing yourself with an IUL, you gain a powerful asset building tool that allows your income and ensures financial growth while covering your expenses. Isn't that incredible? Through a simple term called income shifting. All right, now that we got that out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about the steps that it takes to create a trust. First, we got to determine what type of trust you want. That's the first thing I do. So I recommend a complex, expressed, discretionary, non-statutory. Now you know these terminology. This is the reason why I wanted to make sure you knew the terminologies first. Non-statutory and irrevocable trusts, often referred to as what we talked about earlier, the bulletproof trust. This structure is designed to protect assets and hold up in court, and creditors can't come after you with this type of trust. When setting up a trust, begin with naming it. To maintain privacy, I'm going to say this real slow. Avoid naming it in your name. Do not put Jim Jones Trust, because then they can come after you when they go look stuff up. Instead, consider, names like Legacy, Dynasty, or Holdings, or even initials, but don't put your name in it, okay? You got to be, you want to use discretion is what I'm saying. So next thing you want to do is you got to appoint a grantor. In this case of an irrevocable trust, choose someone, preferably a non-relative, to serve as a grantor, allowing you to retain control as the trustee. Finally, appoint a trustee who will manage the trust. This person will control the trust, and you should also select beneficiaries. Usually your kids are the beneficiary of those, and designate a successor of the trust. And they got to be at least over 18 and can take, be responsible. And then we're going to talk about the third step is to create the trust agreement. This document formalizes the trust structure terms and the parties involved. Step number 4 is we want to get the trust notarized. You got to get it notarized. Bring this thing to life. Both the grantor and the trustee should notarize the trust agreement and make it official and legal. But you ain't finished yet. We got to open up a bank account. To manage the trust funds, you can choose from various types of accounts, different types of checking, savings, money market accounts. Because you're going to get a trust EIN. You're not going to get an LLC EIN. You're going to go on IRS.gov and get a trust EIN and be able to set up your bank accounts. And the last step you want to do, the most important step that a lot of people forget or don't do, is the last step is to transfer your assets into the trust, like your real estate, your bank accounts, your vehicle, your furniture, books, retirement funds, investments. Well, your retirement funds you should have for your 401k or TSP. You should have beneficiaries on that, but it still can be in your asset list on where everything is, okay? Because now you want to fund this trust and bring it live. It's not a real trust, even if you got it notarized, because you didn't fund it. You didn't activate it by putting these other accounts inside of it, okay? This makes sure the trust owns the assets, not you, which provides the privacy and protection. Put your assets inside of the trust. That's called funding it, okay? Now let's talk a little bit about asset protection, because it's important to protect your assets, because building a financial future that not only grows but also safeguarded from life's uncertainties, okay? Because here's how a trust can protect your assets. Let's talk a little bit about bankruptcy. With bankruptcy protection, it's one of the key benefits of a trust, as assets held in the trust are generally shielded from creditors and no longer considered part of your personal estate in the event of bankruptcy. Divorce protection is another advantage of trust. It also keeps your assets safe from divorce settlements, with only assets in your personal name being vulnerable. And Tom Brady, the football player, he got divorced from Giselle, and she didn't get anything because he had everything in his mother's name in a trust. This also protects you from foreclosure. Another benefit of a trust is it can help prevent foreclosure by holding the property under the trust name, making it harder for the creditors to claim it if you fall behind on the mortgage because you got it under a trust. They can't find it. It's also good for tax savings, as a trust can help you reduce your tax liability, especially in the high tax states like New York, California, okay, where many people give away close to 50% of their income in taxes. So instead of paying a big percentage of a trust, it will allow you to donate up to 60% of your annual income, your W-2 income, to a nonprofit organization, yours, reducing your tax liability income, your taxable income, and freeing up money for investments in real estate and other assets to grow your wealth. Let's not talk about lawsuits. Somebody always trying to sue somebody. Lawsuits is a protection provided when a trust owns your business. It shields your personal assets from potential lawsuits. And for bypass and probate, a trust ensures that your assets go directly to your heirs without any court interference or delays. Setting up a trust to secure your assets and wealth ensures when you pass, everything is the way you intended it to be. That's why you got to have an asset protection trust. So once you set up your business account, it gives you the opportunity to create a whole new identity because you get a whole new EIN. So even if you got, for example, bad credit, now that you got this EIN, you can establish business credit with that same EIN. Did you know that you can go to irs.gov and input for your own, you can get an EIN for your own name and make your name a business? So it's different when you get credit for your business, that opens up a whole new world for you. Because with business credit, you want to build strong credit with a corporate credit profile for your trust. This is essential. Like LLCs and corporations, a trust can establish its own credit based on its EIN number, its employee identification number, which is separate from your personal credit. And by creating a business credit profile, the trust can access higher credit lines ranging from $25,000 to $100,000, which can be used to fund investments or acquire some assets. This gives you a second credit profile, folks. You know, if somebody got bad credit, start them up a business and get them an EIN from a trust, okay? And so this is going to give you a second credit profile, allows you to leverage other people's money, OPM, to grow your financial reach without relying solely on personal credit, okay? Because the nonprofit, what this does, you're eligible for various nonprofit grants and other funding opportunities that support your mission and objectives. Nonprofit grants it's a valuable resource. It provides funds to expand your business, services to cover operational costs or investing or any new projects without taking on new debt, okay? This grant eligibility is an important benefit to explore as part of a building and a diversified funding strategy for your company, for your organization. After over 35 years of working hard, I realized that without the right guidance, navigating it by yourself and trying to figure everything out without a mentor, I learned that real quick. That was the hard way. I call it the hard way because so many people lose a lot of their wealth simply due to improper estate planning because they often unaware of the real estate impact until it's too late. So, for example, I learned this firsthand when my brother passed. He left $250,000. His wife left him because she passed 7 months before him. And when she passed, she left her money to him, but he didn't have anything in place. He didn't have a beneficiary for the insurance policy that was transferred to him. And she didn't have a trust and he didn't have a trust. But without a trust, he faced a lot of months in probate to get the money. It took almost a year just to get that money. This experience, that drove me crazy. I'm not gonna lie. I knew it had to be a better way in getting this information than sitting out here trying to charge people $40,000 to $50,000 for one trust. You want to get your comprehensive system. First thing I noticed when I started talking to people and getting these prices, I realized that people can't afford trust because they're simply too expensive. High costs is preventing families from wanting to secure and protect their legacy because they know that people don't have money to pay for it. That's why they're so high. They're not advertised because they're notoriously costly and most people can't afford them. When I started, I faced the same challenge by creating a trust with an overwhelming price of $40,000 on Upworks for 4 trusts was $160,000. That's crazy. The attorneys recommended that I refinance my house. I was like, what? I'm not refinancing my house. There's got to be a better way. I do taxes. It's just paperwork. And I grew up in HR in the Army. So I knew it couldn't have been that hard. But it was easy for the attorneys because they just want your money. And they don't want to show you how to do it. But you got to be willing to put in the time. But this was exhausting for me. So that's why I made it easy for you by creating this system right here where you can just plug and play and everything is already there. All you do is put your information in. You don't have to create it from scratch. And the second biggest thing is the second critical lesson I learned is that I knew I needed a system that wouldn't just work, but would deliver results quickly and effectively with a cheaper cost. My goal is to protect your assets from lawsuits, foreclosures, bankruptcy, heavy tax, divorce, and probate. Because if you are like me, you want to secure your family's future and safeguard what you built. Let me reassure you, you can do this. And I'm here to guide you every step of the way. The Ultimate Trust Creator is a proven strategy designed to secure your assets, shield your legacy, and ensure lasting financial freedom. Together, we'll create a solid plan so you can confidently protect your wealth and leave a meaningful legacy. Okay? That's the second biggest thing I learned. Now let's get into the 3 game-changing trust hacks to unlock maximal potential. Secret number 1, tax optimized trust structure. Business trusts by shifting away from the government banks and big business back into your pockets. Secret number 2 is asset protection framework, the 508c1a, designed for faith-based organizations from financial risk. This is what helps you structure this thing properly. And so secret number 3, that's the legacy planning system. That's the private trust asset protection from creditors and legal claims, simplifying wealth transfer while minimizing probate delays and costs. Our first insider secret, optimizing your trust structure. We talked a little bit about how to get an instant pay increase in your monthly paycheck without asking your employer. You might ask, how is this even possible? It's possible because 80% of Americans have too much money being withheld from their paycheck. The average tax refund is about $2,800 according to the IRS. This is the IRS, this isn't me. So they're taking your money and they're investing at 8.5% rate of return and giving it back to you at the end of the year. You want to ask yourself, how can you give me something back that's already mine? That's why I recommended that you create a business trust. This would allow you to have less taxes withheld up front and receive more money in your paycheck. When I first learned this, I was paying almost $700 a month in federal taxes. My mentor took me to lunch because, in other words, the losses from your business filters through to your Form W-2 at your job, and it reduces your tax liability. And you don't have to renew any license or anything because it's inside of a trust. How incredible is that? That's magnanimous. Here's the deal, folks. There are 2 different types of people in the world. There's people that have a trust, families with a trust, and families without a trust. Okay, that's the bottom line. Because a family with a trust, if something catastrophic happens, it may happen, which it will. Something happens in life. We're all going to die. I hate to say that, but that's the way life is. And we're all going to pass. That's the truth of it. And then you have to go to probate. The people that got to go to probate, life ain't looking so good for them. Because now the creditor's going to get the money first, the attorneys, and then everybody else, and then your family is last to get what's left over. People keep putting this off, but you can't put this off. Do what you got to do today so you can do what you want to do tomorrow. Okay? Because many people put this off, and the reality is that unexpected event can happen at any time. We don't know. And not having an estate plan can lead to serious consequences. Assets may not be distributed according to the way you want them. Let me ask you a quick question. Did you know that 70% of the wealth is typically lost by the second generation within families? Lack of structured estate planning? Because a common misconception about trust is often misunderstood. Many people think that trusts are for wealthy people, yet they are essential for anyone wanting to protect their assets. So we already know the old way that we've been hearing about, or know that what's going to happen from this presentation, what happens with the old way if you don't have a trust in place. Because that's the old way of doing business. You got to get distinct or you're going to get extinct. Because growing up for me, money was really tight, and handling funerals in the States always fell on me. I was the one, because I was in the Army, everybody felt like I had so much money. Without a plan, it made things already hard. That was already hard on me. It made it even worse, is what I'm saying. My family, we left with no choice but to turn to crowdfunding, platforms like GoFundMe, asking strangers for donations to cover the cost. That was the old way, the way many of us were forced to navigate without knowledge, resources, mentors, somebody to guide us. But I've learned that there's a better way and a smarter way to plan ahead. And that's why you're on this presentation. But here's the thing, folks. This doesn't have to be your story. That's the old way. You got to get distinct or you're going to get extinct. With the right tools, you can ensure that your family is protected and your legacy is preserved. Guess what? Imagine you start early, setting up a will and trust to ensure your assets are distributed exactly the way you wish. You tailor the plan to your family's unique needs, whether it's for you, your grandchildren, or a special circumstance. You have those tough conversations with your loved ones, ensuring everyone is on the same page and minimizing conflict. Now picture this. If you set up a trust for your children, your grandchildren, they are financially secure by the time they're 18. They have the funds ready for college, a car, whatever they need, without you having to go get a loan. All the thanks to you putting the right systems into place now. If you didn't do it for your kids, that's fine. Do it for your grandkids. Why does this work? It works because I've addressed the real problems on hand. Every opportunity comes with its own set of follow-up challenges. This is a quote from the late, great Jim Rohn, which perfectly sums up the mindset that changed my life. Don't wish life was easier. Wish you were better. If you're looking to do something to change your life, you have to work on what I call your shadow self. Work on those things that you know you got to get done, but you don't want to get done. And by putting your affairs in order, you're not leaving it the chance for somebody to just come in and take everything that you worked so hard for your whole life. Don't just wish you had a trust. Don't just get on this webinar and then get off and do nothing, because you're going to, oh yeah, I'm going to do it, and then tomorrow ain't going to never come. So you got to do what you got to do today so you can do what you want to do tomorrow. Let's go a little bit in detail into the framework of asset protection. We're going to explain in this section, this formula, how strategic you got to be and do it with intention, because the key pillars of this is going to be the structure with the credit and invest. And that's the biggest thing, is going to be able to structure it with the credit and invest. You follow this process right here. And each of these components plays a crucial role in securing and growing your trust. When you do this and this structure it this way, now you got a solid plan in place to make it work. Meet my good friend, Christine Lewis.
Thank you so much, Sanna. I'm so grateful because everything you've shared with me has been of so much value, priceless, has gotten me to a space where now my business is running on its own and I'm able to see this clear path to financial freedom that I never thought was possible before. Sanna's system is easy to understand and it works fast. So I can't say enough about how grateful I am that this system allowed me to have a path to financial freedom. Sanna is amazing in the way that she walks you through each process step by step so that you truly understand how to manage your finances, manage your business, and make the most out of your business and giving yourself a clear investment strategy for your future. Thank you, Sanna Garrett-Smith. I'm so grateful. What you offer to people comes from a genuine place, and I know that the help that you've offered to me is going to help thousands of other people. Thank you for sharing your knowledge and wisdom with me. Truly grateful. Blessings.
She has gotten a trust with me. I'm so grateful I met her. This is my yoga instructor down in Fort Lauderdale. So let's just recap what I did. Because our first secret number one is our first insider secret to tax optimized trust structure. We talked about that in detail. And the secret number two is our asset protection trust with the 508c1a that allows a faith-based organization to be exempt from federal income tax, which means more funds can be directed towards their mission and community support. This tax exempt enables ministries to focus on expanding their programs without the financial burden of taxes. That's just a recap, and we're going to move right on. And last but not least, we have secret number three, legacy planning system. That's what's up. Have you ever heard of the term called owning nothing but control everything? That's what you heard me say earlier. This strategy is crucial because it aims to hold no ownership to the public, and all of your assets is private, but you maintain control on paper. That's how the Rockefellers do it. Because let's talk about stewardship. Stewardship is about managing and controlling your wealth in a way that ensures it's protected, grows, and is passed down to future generations. The goal is to position yourself in a way where you own nothing but control everything, because this will allow you to control your assets like your home or your investments while placing them into a trust. The trust legally owns the asset, but you as the trustee retain control. This means you can contribute to live in or manage these assets without owning them personally. This approach shields you from personal liability, probate, and other risks that could affect your wealth. By using a trust, you're also securing your children's inheritance. And as the trust directs the transfer of the assets without the need for a will, this method aligns with the true meaning of stewardship, being a wise, responsible manager of your wealth. Because the trust TCUs, we call them trust certificate units. Okay, that's what's going to be issued to each beneficiary. They'll get this TCU that shows how much stock, and it's divided by 25, but it's up to 100%. You divide that by whoever is the beneficiaries. If you have one or two, that's how it's divided. Okay, you give it however percentage you want. The trust, this is how it works. It's similar to how a stock certificate represents an ownership in a corporation. To transfer wealth smoothly and ensures the beneficiary receive their share, a trust issues a trust certificate unit, a TCU. Instead of relying on a will, a trust with TCUs makes it clear who gets what portion of the wealth. For example, If you have $100 million in your assets and you have 4 beneficiaries, which each will receive 25% of which $250,000 each beneficiary receives of the trust value through the TCUs. Y'all get it? These units are distributed according to the trust terms, eliminating probate and ensuring that the assets are transferred seamlessly to the TCU. The TCU represents the ownership of the trust benefits, making them beneficiaries, making them a key tool in generational wealth transfer. Next is wealth preservation, which is wealth preservation. It ensures that your assets not only stay protected, but continue to grow up to 7 generations. To reserve wealth, it's important to pair your trust with life insurance policies. The trust itself should own the life insurance policy, with the trust as both the policy holder and a beneficiary. This way, if something happens to you, the death benefit from the insurance policy will go directly to the trust, replenishing the assets and ensuring its longevity. In addition to that, life insurance policy can be taken out by the trustee or the co-trustees, and beneficiaries include newborns. So policies can be taken out. This ensures that the trust is financially stable for future generations. So let's say, for example, you take a life insurance policy on a newborn child and let it accumulate cash value, which is maybe used for college expenses or other financial needs. By using the IUL life insurance within the trust, you are protecting the wealth you've worked so hard to build, ensuring it continues to benefit your family for generations. So just to recap the solution: optimized tax structure, number 1, 2, asset protection framework, and 3, planning, a legacy planning system. Because when you go into tax optimization and structure, you shift control away from the government, banks and big businesses and back into your hands. You want to leverage those tax benefits. The Ultimate Trust Creator helps you strategically structure your assets, unlocking tax advantages that may reduce your tax liability, your taxable income. This means you can keep more of your hard-earned money, essentially giving yourself a pay raise without asking for one. Secret number 2, asset protection framework, created at 508c18. You got to get this faith-based organization to enjoy the tax exemptions and shield your assets from the creditors and legal claims. Last but not least, secret number 3, the legacy planning system, a private family trust that simplifies wealth transfers. It minimizes probate and delays costs and provides confidentiality and trust and avoid public probate proceedings. Because you want to be able to protect the assets from the creditors. I'm telling you, ensure your family maintain control over the distribution. Tailor the trust to specific needs, special needs, care, or educational funding. This system aligns with your values and goals, securing your family's future and creating a legacy that lasts for generations. So you might be thinking, but Sanna, creating different types of trust, I might mess this up. It might be scary. The Ultimate Trust Creator, with this program, you'll have a clear solution, a powerful solution to keep your wealth and your family safe for generations. This system isn't just about wealth management. It's about securing your legacy. Through strategic trust, estate planning will help you structure your assets. It's plug and play. You ain't got to create it from scratch. It's already in there. Don't reinvent the wheel. Just get going. You got to take the first step to make a decision to get it done. Don't use it as an excuse. Excuses are the nails that build a house of failure. You can make excuses or you can protect your family, but you cannot do them both at the same time. You make the choice. Now you can see why so many people are excited. That's when the Ultimate Trust Creator came into focus. By combining the power of personalized trust, will planning, I could not only help my fellow comrades and tax clients in my community assist them with changing their financial future, but also empower others with facing similar challenges. Want the easy way? Just imagine this. If you've been searching for a way to create financial stability for your family and you want to set a solid foundation, you've been looking. Now having imagined access to a system that not only increases your monthly income, but also connects you with the expert who guides you step by step by building a trust-based business. The Ultimate Trust Creator isn't just a tool. It's your roadmap to achieving real personal financial success. Imagine a peace of mind knowing you own nothing but control everything, a strategy that preserves your legacy and protects your assets for years to come. How much would you say this is worth to you? I do believe that it's worth it, but it was 40. You think it's worth 40? If you need one trust, that's one trust with $40,000 they was charging. So if you need 3 or 4, that's upwards to $160,000. Who has that money sitting around? The only thing the attorney could recommend to me was to refinance my house and come up with the money and pay them. That was the best advice he can give me. So I was determined to learn this on my own. If I put in the work and start learning this on my own, so I can be able to bring the information back to my clients and practically give this away. So it's definitely not going to be no 40, no 80, no $160,000. But that's a lot of money. That's what's going on the market right now for trust. Check it out yourself. Do your own research. Don't believe anything that I say. You want to do your own due diligence. In the past few minutes, I know I've covered a lot of information. But would you agree that it's been time well spent so far? Do you agree that this information has been valuable? Obviously, I can't cover everything you need to know within an hour, hour and a half within what you've been learning. But because this is so important, because if the value is there, the price doesn't matter. But this time that you spent, it should have been life-changing. All right, folks, before we get this wrapped up, what I'd like to ask you to do is, do I have permission to go over this special offer with you? Thank you. Introducing Snug. Snug is this is a platform that we partner with to have our clients have access to all their stuff online. Okay, this is incredible because this is a customizable solution for securing your legacy with essential documents such as a joint or individual trust, a pullover will, quitclaim deed, to a power of attorney, and healthcare directive. This system has it all access. Everything you need is in here. It's designed for flexibility. It includes advanced controls for special needs planning and the beneficiary customization. With this package, you can organize every aspect of your estate, from family details, personal history, and valuable wisdom to legal estate plans, to marital and business succession documents. Everything you need, financial assets, debts, are clearly outlined, while insurance policies, life, home and auto insurance, health, are all documented. Everything is in here for the beneficiaries. It's a share. You can share with your family. This streamlined package ensures your legacy is protected, accessible, and uniquely yours. This is incredible, folks. There are 3 levels to this plan you can have. And the first one, this is the basic plan. You don't get the actual, the main 4 trusts. You're going to get for $488 estate plan. And this is way more you're going to have to pay if you go to an attorney. Estate planning can be costly, but for a small investment of $488, you'll receive a comprehensive, well-based estate plan that includes estate documents to protect your loved ones. You can create a will in less than 20 minutes. Easily draft a will that ensures your wishes are honored, with everything to make sure it's current and flexible. Once your will is set up, the next step, you'll create a power of attorney. All this for you to access at any time, tailored to your state's legal requirements. This document designates someone you trust to make critical decisions on your behalf when needed. We want to get your health straight. Your health preferences are clear. Create a healthcare directive. This includes both a medical power of attorney and a living will. It's called an advanced directive. You letting people know right now to ensure your health care preferences are respected in case you get incapacitated. You want to make sure they know what to do. And the next step in this process, you don't want to leave anything behind. You want to be able to share your estate plans with your loved ones. You want to be able to share this so everybody know where it's at. You can share your plan with other family members. Everybody can upload and have it to where it's in one central location. It's optional. I'm printing mine out and I'm going to have mine in case something happens, because you know it's a cloud base. You know something may happen. But you're also going to get 45 video modules on how to set up and operate, how this whole thing works, okay? And you'll have lifetime access to Snug's portal, okay? You don't have to pay for access to the portal. It's free to get in there. Back there, you just have to pay to get everything set up. But we're giving you access to this estate planning package. It's going to give you a peace of mind knowing your assets are protected and your loved ones will be cared for in case something happens. The second option, which I highly recommend, is the Done With You DIY. This one right here is priced at on $1,488. But if you're serious about protecting your legacy, it's got all 4 trusts in it. It's got the business trust, it's got the faith-based organization, the family trust, the irrevocable trust. This package includes everything you need to create a strong, bulletproof trust, minimizing taxes and maximize your asset protection and ensuring your wishes are respected. You're going to get everything you get in the $488 plus all this other stuff. With this package, you're going to get the 4 trust templates. That's huge. The first thing you want to get is a business entity. Start by protecting your trust assets. This is a part of that package. You're going to get the 508c1a trust, template. These are templates, folks. This is so easy. It's plug and play. It's not as hard. What you got to fill in is highlighted in red. It's not as hard as you think, but they want you to think it's complicated so they can get your $20,000 per trust. We're going to make sure everything's set up and optimized the way you wanted it. Next, you'll be able to benefit from tax planning and stuff like that, advice, and get a free tax consultation too, so I can look at your taxes, make sure everything is online. We want to set you up for success going into the new year. We want to expand your knowledge by giving you 4 free ebooks that I give away at the end of this webinar, and going to give you some more bonuses as well.
Are your business taxes eating away at your bottom line? Is your current CPA costing you money? Hi, I'm Sanna Garrett-Smith. My partners at BCT Tax Center recently shared some of the top tax deductions you might be missing out on. For example, did you know you could hire your children and reduce your tax liability by over $12,000 per child? Did you also know that you could do bookkeeping strategically so that it finds you opportunities to save and make more money in your business? And much, much more. Like a regular medical checkup, taking the opportunity to review your current tax plan is critical to your business health. But I know you really don't have time to do it yourself. So that's why my partners at BCT Tax Center have created a free, simple questionnaire that will help us diagnose your current situation and then provide you with a personalized blueprint to help you keep more hard-earned money in your business. This is the free 57 secret strategies to explode your business blueprint. And just to let you know how much I want you to succeed, I've talked my partners into guaranteeing that with the blueprint plus a quick consultation, we will find at least $10,000 in missing potential tax deductions.
You're also going to get access to other essential books. Get in all these. The Art of Passing the Buck, Volume 102, which is vital for understanding trusteeship and operating the trust and family wealth. Folks, you got to get educated. We're going to give you these books because I want to empower you.
And lastly, but definitely not the least, is the Ultimate Trust One-on-One Will-Based Estate Plan. $2,488, the best package for your future. Take your legacy planning to the next level with this comprehensive package. Perfect for those serious about protecting their assets, securing their family's future, and optimizing financial strategies. Includes everything in the DIY, do-it-yourself, and DWI, done with you, will-based estate plan, plus premium features for ultimate peace of mind. With this package you get free review of last year's tax return, $198 value. Customized trust and notarization. Ensure your trust is customized to your needs and legally valid with professional notarization to protect your assets. Life changes, and so do laws. That's why this package includes a quarterly review session. These sessions ensure your estate plan adapts to life's changes, keeping your plan relevant and effective. Next, one-on-one Zoom calls get direct, personalized guidance to answer your questions and ensure everything is done right. Expert support and yearly updates. Stay confident in your plan with ongoing expert assistance and annual updates to reflect any changes in your life or laws.
We're going to be reviewing to help you make sure you're on track with everything. You're going to get support. You're going to get a free vacation, more important. We give a free vacation to all our tax clients. It's our way of saying thank you. We give you access to over 125 destinations worldwide. It's our way of saying thank you. Valued at $1,500. You got to get there. We don't pay for the transportation. Just you and the loved ones, not for you and 50 other family members. And no, it's not a timeshare. I don't want you trying to think I'm trying to get you to some 90-minute timeshare. This is free. It's got to be at least 100 miles from your house, and you pay the small tax fee for each day you stay. That's it. There's no strings attached. I'm willing to give this away because I want to see you live the life you deserve. And this is one of the things we give our clients during the program. When you get started up with these different packages right here, this is how it look when you go get signed up. And we're giving you access to the trust, you access to the back office for free. You don't have to even pay for it. We want to make sure you can see what's back there and how to get signed up. You'll have your own dashboard to get set up by you getting on this information, having access to this online portal. Here's everything you're going to get when you join the Ultimate Trust family. Bottom line, you got on this webinar. You want to make a change. You want to ensure your family's legacy to protect and grow for generations to come. But you got on here because you wanted to learn something. You want to be the one to take the first step to break that generational curse, I call it. Learning the right strategies like how to use a trust, how to structure them, how to refund them, and things like that. Now you're putting yourself in position. Here's what you're going to get for the $488. You're going to be able to create a trust and a will in over 20 minutes that's valued at $500. Create a power of attorney. The healthcare directive, that's worth $1,500 almost. You get the quick claim deed, which is a fee if you went and got an attorney to do it for you. You're going to get the 45 module videos to be able to look at the videos on how to set up everything. Folks, this is valued at almost $3,000. Just for standing in, I want to give you this free ebook, the 57 Secret Strategies to Explode Your Business. Look, this free ebook is going to save you $10,000 if you own a business of how you can reduce your tax liability.
Now here is what you're going to get from our bestseller, The Done With You Will-Based Estate Plan for just $1,488.
You're going to get the free will in another 20 minutes. You're going to get everything you got in the other package. Be able to create the business trust. One trust that I told you was $20,000. We talking about a free family share plan, a free tax consultation, the irrevocable trust. Man, we talking about weekly Zoom calls, the 57 Secret Strategies book. Folks, this is almost $80,000 worth of gifts. And to sweeten the pot even more, we have a special bonus, another special bonus, a free review of your last year's tax return. Whether it be personal or business, it's valued at $198. This is a unique opportunity to sit down with a tax expert and uncover potential tax savings. Folks, I've sat down with people and I found in their last year, their previous year's tax return, where they went to someone else, and I've saved them $3,000 to $5,000. All right, folks, we are just about wrapping this presentation up. We're thrilled to have you join us and become part of our family, the Ultimate Trust family, so that you can safeguard your legacy and simplify your future.
And finally, here's what you're going to get with our Done One-on-One Ultimate Estate Plan for just $2,488. Create a will in under 20 minutes with expert guidance. Everything you're going to receive from the will and trust for $488 and $1,488, which is valued over $78,000. Plus, the business trust, the private family trust, the faith-based organization trust, also the irrevocable trust, valued at $18,888. Get access to Trust Document Library, valued at $188. Quarterly review session, valued at $188. Free family share plan, valued at $288. Free gift of 57 Secret Strategies, valued at $98. Bonus number 1, free tax review, valued at $198. And bonus number 2, a free vacation, valued at $2,500. Plus a priceless one-on-one consultation with a total value over $80,000.
You're going to get this almost $80,000 worth of value of these things that you're going to be able to have access to. You got 3 options to be able to purchase. The middle one is what we recommend. Bottom line is you got to get something to sell. And it's better to start the sooner the better, because time waits on no one, folks. Getting started now with Snug and the Ultimate Trust Creator. You want to be able to create your free account now. Just go to VCT Tax Center, getsnug.com. Life should be effortless. When you're taking action to make something happen, it will feel hard initially because you don't fear the unknown. Don't wait to secure your legacy and protect your family's future. I'm signing up TNT tonight, not tomorrow. I'm getting this free account. Folks, I am so grateful you took the time out of your busy schedule to get this information.
And once again, this is Sanna Garrett-Smith for the Ultimate Trust Creator. Have a fantastic day.